Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I took a nap this morning after a really crazy night of waves of pain. And now it's weird. I'm experiencing some interesting waves of throbbing pain. It is, yeah, to where my right eye waters from it and then I have to blow my nose. That's how intense this is. So I can understand how a stroke victim who is not on J juice would suffer the physical the physical characteristics of a stroke victim, where they have slurred speech, hazy thinking, drooping of the right side. What else? Uh, massive headache, massive headache, like the worst they've ever experienced. Yeah, these waves of pain is probably the worst I've ever experienced, but it's not happening on a continuous basis. It's only intermittently. And sometimes, when I blow my nose, it triggers it, or sometimes when I'm it'll happen in waves. It's when you release your pleasure hormone in different ways and you're able to control that release and maybe you know, get it to release more for whatever reason, and then it shuts off. That's like this prostaglandin hormone. It's a healing hormone, but you could feel the hormone being released. And sometimes someone just keeps hitting the gas pedal and it keeps flooding until it turns off. So, yeah. So right now I'm not experiencing it right now. I'm waiting for it to just kind of trigger. So that's why I'm kind of talking to you right now to see if it'll come on. But it's like you feel great for 1 second. Ouch. Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Yeah, right. My right eye is pretty crazy. So for 1 second, I feel amazing, and then another second, I'm like, holy crap! It's but I don't see stars. I don't have any of those type of experience. I don't have any numbness in my arms. It's just a massive amount of pain on my right, up in here. And it's a trip. It's a trip. I mean, I've never just sat with pain and just dealt with it. I've always taken something for it. I've always tried to do something for it. But when it happens, I'm just and I'm holding on to my head going oh my God. And, I'm not going to put anything on it because there's no point in trying to stop it. When somebody suffers a stroke, okay, and they don't have J juice, they'll end up having a massive headache. They'll end up having a paralyzed, half side paralyzed. They'll end up having droopiness. They'll end up not being very coherent or very logical in their thinking. They'll end up with slurred speech and just, you'll know a stroke victim because you'll see them just not act right. You see half of their body just a little bit off. And that's not happening to me. If anything, yeah, you might see a swollenness in my eye, on this side, yes, because this is the side that I'm dealing with. But I'm telling you, this is the craziest phenomenon ever. And I'm thinking that this is an upgrade, and every stroke is an upgrade. But the reason why people go downhill from strokes, whether it's animals or people, is because they don't have enough of what it takes to fight the contortions. That's what it is. The muscle. So when someone has loss of muscle capability, or they have a drooping because a muscle is just finally contorted and it just stays that way, I'm fighting the muscle contortions. I can feel the muscles constrict up here. I feel it. It feels just a whole seizing in the back of my head. And then I fight it. Okay. And so I don't know how any hospice patient or anyone that is so far gone would be able to handle the healing process on their own without a support system. Yeah, if you guys ever let yourself get so bad wow. If you guys ever let you get yourself so bad to where you get to a point where you're in hospice and you try to do the J juice, there's no way. You might as well just say forget it, because this right here, just dealing with this, and I'm pretty strong. A weak person would not be able to handle this type of pain. They'd be already taking their painkillers, and then they'd be already going down that hill. they'd be already down the hill under the whatever the bridge. They'd be done. So yeah. So at some point, you guys, you got to catch your situation early because you don't want to have to feel this pain. Now, I could probably afford to take a painkiller. I could probably, but I don't want to. I really don't want to. There's no point. I'm already dealing with the pain right now, going through this upgrade with the COVID. I mean, yeah, I'm dealing with the COVID, okay? The COVID, I'm dealing with it. Like they're saying, oh yeah, she has the HIV, he has the HIV. Hoo-hoo. We're all dealing with the COVID, okay? And this COVID is no freaking joke. It is the next evolutionary leap. And so, and so my predispositions this is like an evolutionary leap for me. Some of you may experience this, some of you may not. I don't know what your evolutionary leap is going to be for you because we all have evolved differently. Evolution is where you are taking yourself from hospice, let's say just the most extreme situation. You take yourself from hospice all the way to then being like when you're 20. That's a major evolutionary leap for somebody that's still within with this realm, right? So now with this COVID-19 is where now I'm dealing with a new environment that is totally taking my neurological processes, my muscular system, everything up to the next level. Okay. I haven't felt anything on the left side, but only on the right side. And it's insane. This is so insane that, I mean, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself that I can handle this pain without taking any painkillers. I'm proud of myself that I don't need to turn to anything. I mean, it would be nice if this pain would stop. And I do get bouts of like, oh yeah, this feels great. And then all of a sudden, this lightning bolt, this electricity. John was saying that's like electrical pulses. Yeah, electrical pulses with the hormone, the prostaglandin hormone, which is the opposite of oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin is a pleasure. Yes, Connie. Lasted for six days. Holy crap, Connie. Wow. Okay, so that's what I'm in for. Maybe 6 days. Okay, all right. But yeah, so the prostaglandin hormone is the opposite of oxytocin. Prostaglandin is a pain hormone that helps with the healing process, aids the healing process. The pleasure hormone also can be like a painkiller, but it also can be detrimental when you have too much pleasure. Because when you're chasing pleasure, then you're drugging yourself. Believe me, nobody wants to bring up pain all the time. Okay, nobody wants. So you're not going to try to do anything to yourself to bring up pain all the time. But when it comes to bringing up pleasure, and people are pleasure chasers, pleasure seekers, okay, that's when there's an imbalance there too. That's why those that have like, what is it? Nymphomaniacs, always looking for pleasure. They have an imbalance as well. Okay. So, but I'm going to, see, it's just these sharp pains, man. And I tell you what, and sometimes it lasts. Sometimes it lasts for at least like 5 or 6 seconds. And it's just like, holy crap. And it's just like it's like when you just press the gas, when you just floor, like when you're parked, no, you're in neutral and you have the engine on and you just flood the engine. Or you just press the gas and it's just a smooth, no jolting. Sometimes it might jolt a little bit, like the ignition gets ignited, or you turn the ignition, but it doesn't fully go into like the gas. Sometimes that'll happen. It'll just be like a sharp pain and that's it. So wow, Connie, you dealt with that too. It's miserable. It's freaking miserable. But whatever, I'm going to still do what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to still make dinner tonight. And I'm still going to, do what I got to do. But this is what you have to deal with. Now, some of you could afford to take painkillers, but, I'm already used to it. I'm already used to not taking painkillers. I don't even do the peppermint water. And I haven't done the peppermint oil and water. I haven't done that. And that's what I did like in the beginning of when I did the J juice was I had a headache right up here and I would take peppermint oil and water and just soak. But I mean, I could take like some ice and put it right here, but I'm not going to. I'll just deal with it. I mean, yeah, it's like a burning sensation too sometimes, but I know my body's working the way it's supposed to. So I'm allowed to do what it needs to do. I mean, even when I have a sharp pain and I could feel it just like throbbing for a minute and I'm going down the stairs to go to the restroom, I'm not disoriented. I don't see stars, no pain in the arm, nothing like that. I just feel it and I just deal with it. I feel it and I deal with it and I just move on. And it doesn't last very long, but it just happens in these waves. And there's no telling what triggers it. Sometimes when I blow my nose or when my eyes water, and I blow my nose, it might trigger another one. But, it's like, it'll end. I just don't know when, but I'm not worried about it. Okay. So that's my lesson to all of you guys when you first start the J juice, is that you're going to have different pains in different parts of your body because those are your predispositions. And I can't tell you how long they're going to last. I can't tell you if it's going to be a day, a month, a week, whatever. But all of the healing symptoms and the upgrades, they're temporary. They don't last that long. They don't last that long. And if they do, it's because you have a lot of healing to go. And so that's why you don't let yourself get to a point where you're in hospice, because it would be even more horrifically torturous. Right now, this is more torturous than I've had dealt with in a while. This is like nothing I've really ever dealt with, because the headache that I had in the beginning of the protocol was like a continuous headache where I just would go to sleep. The only thing I do is go to sleep. But now I just get fooled. I feel great. Like I feel good right now. And then all of a sudden a sharp pain would come. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. That's what's going on right now. All right. So, you might experience it when you experience the COVID, but you might not. I don't know what your evolutionary, path is, but everyone's path is a little bit different and a little bit the same. And they'll happen at different times. You may not experience this until maybe in 2 months from now, or you already experienced this. Okay. So it's just hard to say and hard to gauge, when you guys will deal with this, but it's not fun. This is not fun at all. But of course she got better, Mrs. Geo. What do you think? She's not going to get better? Of course. It lasted for 6 days. All right. It's like, come on, you gotta know that your body's going to be able to bounce back. All right. We have different evolutionary leaps. We're not going to die from the COVID unless you don't do the J juice. All right, Mrs. Geo, you got to have some faith in the juice. You really do. Those of you that are still on the J juice and you're very skeptical, need to up your dosages because you haven't figured out the truth about J juice, because you haven't put enough in your body to give yourself any kind of testimony to make you a believer. Yeah, Connie's still alive, so there you go. She ain't dead. So what more do you want? And what is better anyways? See, the people that are on the J juice that don't understand J juice are going because they're not doing enough of it. I bet you, Mrs. G, you're probably doing like maybe a teaspoon a day. I bet you $1,000 probably doing a teaspoon a day and you haven't seen any benefit, and that's why you're still very skeptical. Because I can tell your skepticism. All right, I can tell the fear just by that question right there. I can just sense the fear. And I'm telling you, if you're in that world, you ain't gonna survive the COVID. You ain't gonna start, because you're not even doing enough J juice to give you enough bravery, enough of the strength, the stamina to deal with this environment. So you might be the type of person that will do the J juice a little bit and then have a major setback and will never ever come back from it. And I hate to say that, but there are people on my protocol that are just like that. They're only doing a tiny little bit. That's all they're going to do. They haven't even changed their salt from the pink salt to the white salt. And then they do a tiny little bit, and then they have a major heart attack or a major stroke. They don't come back from it, and then they disappear. Or they blame the juice, say, oh, the jelly juice did it to me. The jelly juice hurt me. See, and I don't want the people on my protocol that are like that, but there are people that are like that. They'll only do a little bit, then they suffer a major setback and they don't come back to it because they don't want to deal with the healing process because they don't understand it. And then they ask the kind of questions. You got better, right? Are you okay? She's still alive. But anyways, so, yeah. So I got off my little tangent there, but, so I'm doing okay if I can get kind of pissy with people who are still not taking the jelly juice seriously, who still are treating it as if it was like, kryptonite. I don't always love the taste of jelly juice, but I know what it does for me. I know what it does for me. And when you intellectualize jelly juice, it'll help you get over the physical until your body, mind, and spirit are aligned. But if your body, mind, and spirit are not aligned, your mind will say, I'm not sure. Your body's going to want it, but you're going to talk yourself out of it and you're going to ask what kind of questions to people. Okay. So, so Mrs. Geo, you're on notice. I'm thinking that you may not be material for my group because I don't think you're doing it. You've been on this protocol for the last 4 years, right? Or maybe 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. And you're asking those questions still. I don't think you're a candidate for the J Juice. And you're probably not my group material. You're probably not group material because you've been on this for a while. You ask those kind of questions and you have nothing to offer the group as far as any testimony or any kind of hope for somebody else. And you ask that kind of question. So I'm going to be releasing somebody else from the group because you guys have all this time. And those of you that are on the juice or say they're on the juice or in my group, you have all this time to figure this out. Why haven't you figured this out? Some people who have only been around me for maybe about like a month or two, they get it. And they don't ask those kind of questions. You okay? You got better, right? They know better. Because here it's either you do or you die. You do the chili juice or you freaking die from the COVID because this COVID is no freaking joke. This COVID is insanely serious. And if you're doing a little bit of chili juice, just tiny bit, and then you're asking kind of crazy questions, and you keep private messaging me when I say, please don't private message me, you're not getting it. You're completely checked out. You're off in your conspiracy world, in your activism world, whatever. And some of you are in the conspiracy world, but you're not messing with me. You keep yourself pretty chill. And I appreciate that. So I say good luck to those of you that are on the J Juice, but only doing a tiny bit. And you think you're going to handle this atmosphere. This atmosphere is so freaking aggressive. It's insanely aggressive. And if I'm battling the atmosphere and been on the J Juice 4 years, okay? 4 freaking years. And I'm going through an upgrade process and you haven't even attempted your upgrade process to where you can even give somebody a testimony, say, hey, yeah, I've experienced this. Yeah, I've experienced that. And I'm doing great. I'm doing good. If you haven't even, and you've been on my Facebook for the last 4 years and you haven't even given anything, you're not going to freaking survive this. You're not. And I can't have those people in my group that are like that are just kind of like the parasites. I can't. And I've got to act this way because either you figure it out, but you're not going to ask those kind of questions. Well, you got better, right? What the hell is that? What is better? Who will you determine what is better? Ask somebody no questions. They tell you no lies. You know why? Because you will perceive their answer based upon your intentions, your perspective through all of your filters. And let me tell you, your filters are messed up because you haven't been on the J Juice truly. Okay. I mean, you say you are, but let me tell you, people say they're on the J Juice and then they ask these crazy questions or they act a certain way. And I'm like, no, you're not on the J Juice. Nope. Because if you were, you would be acting very differently. So anyways, I feel a little bit better now. Ooh, a little adrenaline just kind of was a little painkiller. So when it tried to get me at the grocery store in February, I never experienced anything that aggressive in my child. The sneezing, and I first experienced the sneezing, when I first experienced all these different things, I tell you what, ow. And and it's that throbbing pain. And then it's done with. And it's just like a stab, like being stabbed with an ice pick for like a second. And you got to deal with it. And I have no fear of it. It's not going to be forever. Okay, I'm not going to die from it. The only way you're going to die from it is if you don't have the J Juice. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have the J Juice and I was still dealing with my PMS and all the other stuff, and I've had those little attacks last night, like every freaking second last night, I probably would have died last night if it wasn't for the J Juice. Because I can't imagine a weaker person. I couldn't imagine someone weaker than me handling what I handled last night and handling what I'm handling today. I don't have a high pain threshold. I really don't. But obviously, I guess I do. But that's why I want to get well. Because I don't have a high chronic pain threshold. And when people have a high chronic pain threshold, they're really, really strong, but their body wants to live and they don't really take too many drugs to weaken themselves. And so they just deal with the pain. They deal with the pain of upgrading. And even though they don't have everything to give to their body to handle it, to reverse to where they don't ever have to feel that chronic pain again. So when you're in chronic pain your whole life, it's because you're so freaking strong. I don't want to be in chronic pain my whole life. I don't. I'm not that strong. I don't want to be that strong. Okay? I want to get through the upgrade process relative to the environment. And I have 7 billion people I have to deal with as far as this upgrade. So there's going to be a million strains I got to deal with. And so does my dog. You know, she's going through the upgrades too. And she's surviving it as well. But I tell you, it's not easy for her either. Okay? So, you know, you have to understand the power of the J juice. And if you don't, then yeah, you belong there getting all of your pills, powder supplements, and detoxes and hormone manipulations. But yeah. All right. Well, I feel better. Thanks. I appreciate that. That was a little bit of a painkiller, that adrenaline rush. All right. Bye.